In today's class, we'll be having the topic from logical reasoning itself, specifically as you know, the puzzle statement, assertion, conclusion. That means purely logical based the reasoning we have. That is the factor. And as you know, this year we have a single CRT combined recruitment test. So there is a possibility they might increase the number of logical reasoning question that have came in the EPFO exam, as you know. Because last year in APFC we hardly see any logical reasoning question. We hardly see literally one or two question, one question specifically from the puzzle. And the AOEO paper, there is a plenty of question out there. So my point of view is very simple. That is, we need to completely understand the logical reasoning itself. Okay, we need to completely understand the logical reasoning itself for the overall exam, because we cannot left a single question out of our hands. We cannot let single question out of our hand. That is the major part here. You need to get that thing right. Got it? Now, what happened here? What are the major important part here? That is, as you know, uh, in logical reasoning there are plenty of, I would say, chapters out there. There are plenty of chapters, and the level of questions are quite different out there. Level of question is quite different out there. That means uh, they can ask a different level of question that are coming mostly in the banks exam. So now what we're gonna do, we'll solve the question from the UPSC CSAT papers, because that's one of the prima factor in the UPSC itself. As you know, that's one of the prima factor here is the in the UPSC itself, because UPSC usually asks question on the level of like, uh, as you know, UPSC CSAT, because they usually tend to have the question out there. That's the factor. uh, Now, what are we gonna do here? What is the most important part? That is, uh, the most important thing is, as you know, the level of question, right? The level of question, the most important thing, as you know. Here you can find a simple level of question out there. Let me just get you through the question of previous year and the chapters, as you know. Okay, so generally what happened here, you can see the, like, here I'm presenting you a logical reasoning question that have come in the UPSC CSAT paper. We have questions from direction, we have question from inequalities, we have question from coding decoding, we have question from silogs, we have question from data sufficiency, we have question from logical deduction, and we have question from ranking and puzzle, and we have question from sitting arrangement, and we have question from blood relation as well as correlations. We have multiple level of question. In total they have, till 2024, in CSAT paper they have given near about 62 question from logical reasoning. So you have to go through the question properly. Okay, you have to go through the question properly. Just a second for the little interruption. So now what we are talking here, that is, as you know, this is the chapter, this was the chapter that from there we have seen question on logical reasoning in the CSAT paper itself. Got it? We have seen paper on the CSAT paper itself, and the most important thing is there are multiple ways to do the things. First, we'll be going through the topics one by one. The first is the direction test. We have multiple question on direction. So I'm just giving you an overview of the direction test, as you know, uh, because in the direction, this is highly unlikely that they will ask any question from direction, because it's a very easy topic. They will mostly tend to uh, mostly at a stick to the question that is purely on logic based. Okay, so let us do a specific like one or two questions so that we can have the idea of the distance direction. So let me just give you a question out there, and let us have a look how we can easily solve the direction based question. Just I'll give one example here, not more than that. I'll just give one example from here. That will be all. So I hope everyone can see the question here that I have given. Now this is the question here in front of us, that is P and PQ are three towns. The distance C in the direction, all we have to understand the direction of the in general. That is, this is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. Got it? Now, what happened here in this question? PQ are three towns. The distance between P and Q is 60 kilometer, whereas the distance between P and R is 80. Q in is the west of P, and R is in the south of P. Got it? The distance between P and Q is 60, and the distance between P and R is 80. What is the distance between Q and R? Now, what we have to do, we have to use the Pythagorean theorem. That means, suppose the distance is A or D, the distance is D. D equal to, as you know, root over 60 square plus 80 square. And it will become to 10,000, as you know, and 10,000 tend to have the square of 100. 100. It should be 100. That means the answer is very simple. It should be 100 kilometer. Okay. This sort of, just you need to have an idea. That's all. Because as I am presuming, all of you can solve this sort of question, because this is quite easy, as you know, as they have given the question paper. So after this, we'll be moving to the previous year question of the AOEO. Remember one thing, if you really want to cater the examination, you need to solve this question that are already given in our drive under PIQ section. The personal assistant question, the question on PA, question on personal assistant. Okay, that was taken last year. If you see the question paper here, you will find it very much interesting. That is, let me just show you here so that you can have an idea. Let's see just here. What you can find here, it's quite interesting thing. Let me know. That is, okay. Now the thing is, this is the PIQ here, and this is the PIQ of the latest examination, the latest examination that was conducted by EPFO. That is the personal assistant, the last year question, 2024 question, right? So in this question paper, what we can find, because it will be very similar to the question that will be asked this year. I mean, that will gonna happen in 30 November. Got it? Those you are preparing, I'm seeing there are one chat box is here, 100 kilometer D. Yeah, it should be D. Many people are here, as I'm seeing. Ayantika is here, Banani here, Baishaki, Rijubdoto, and Satish is also here. So let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing very clearly. If you wanted to master the level of question, if you wanted really uh, have the idea of the level of question, you should go through the APFC paper as well. But what people are not getting, that they are not going through the paper of PA, personal assistant, that was taken last year. Many people are forgetting it. So you should not forget it. See the question here. They have given literally the reading comprehension exactly like UPSC CSAT style. And there's a question on the different form of sentence, affirmative and negative. Although we'll be taking care of this in the English portion in the English classes. Got it? This sort of question you're gonna have. Exactly, you're gonna have this sort of question. Now, what I'm telling, let's look into the question of reasoning here. Okay. So now, let me have the question of reasoning here. Let me just see here because they have given plenty of question on English because we have 50 question on English near about in the PA section. Now let me just have an idea of the also you can have the idea of the science question and modern history question from this section from the PA examination last year because the level of question would be higher than that. So you should have an idea what type of question they have asked in the last question itself. Okay. Now this is a question. This is a like as you know, maths question have are here. You can see the level of maths here. See they have given also binomial theorem here, and the HCF here, and here they have see this is the level of question. See coding decoding they have given literal coding decoding here. See you can see in the question number 101. You can see also in the 102. Okay. You can see the level of question here. You can see the level of see the question number 106. Yes, this is also a logical reasoning class, but as we are going through the question, I'm just giving you an idea. See the question here. Many people are preparing here the maths. Earlier last Sunday, Sunday I have taken a math class, as you know. So the thing is, uh, many people are thinking that the level of maths will be very much easier as per CSAT. Believe me, if you wanted to crack the examination, the level of math will be more advanced than CSAT itself. See the math here. Just see the question number 106. A rectangular wooden block has length 10 semi, 5 semi, and height of 1 semi. Both side having dimension this, both side having dimension this, both side having dimension R, period, and in color. The whole block is cut into cube, each of length 1 semi. Which of the following statement is correct? So you need at least 5 minutes to solve this question. Got it? Not a piece of cake. Not a piece of cake. See the level of question here. Although they have mostly confined only with the, the coding decoding here, but see the question here. You can see the length of question here. So mostly are on statement and statement based question. The maths is also statement based question, and the reasoning is also statement based question. Okay, that is the most important part here. They're all maths question only, but they are on the level of this is called mathematical reasoning. As you know, if you see the maths, you have to look at the maths. The level of question is quite high these days. And if you compare the paper with the last year APFC 2023, APFC will feel like a piece of cake, but PA will feel like a piece of not so-called cake, a hard cake, a very hard cake. And now this year it will be a rock. Get the point? Get my point? APFC maths will feel like a piece of cake. Those you are in the preparation or preparing for many exams, UPSC or sort of thing for many years. Last year, personal assistant question was feel like a piece of hard cake, but this year the question will be feeling like a piece of rock. Got it? Now Let us move forward to the what? Move forward to the CSAT question here. Now we have multiple question from I would say distance reduction. Let me come to the next part. There's inequalities. They might ask question from inequalities, they might not. We have to have an idea of the inequalities question. That is like we have to have an idea of the inequality question, although it should not be asked. Coding decoding should be there. Got it? Coding decoding would be there. So if I follow a coding decoding, uh, let me give you a proper coding decoding here so that you can have a idea. Now coding decoding, as you know very much clearly, coding decoding relies on two things: the placement and place value and the phase value of the alphabets, as we have in English alphabet, right? Place value and phase value of the English alphabet, right? As you know, the coding decoding question has given here. So now what happened, that the most important thing, we need to memorize the place value. As well as the phase value as the opposite value of the alphabets that are given here, right? You must understand. Now what happened, in the question they have given uh, in a certain code ABCD is written as 24, EFGH is written as 1680, then how IJKL would be written on that code? It's very easy. What should be the answer? Tell me. It's very easy. Those you are preparing, you must know there should be a question on coding decoding. Write it down today and you will see on the paper on 13th November. There would be a question on coding decoding. I'm giving you a 100% confirmation. Do it. What should be the answer here? See, remember one thing. This is not, we don't have time for spoon feeding these days. Why? Because if I have to, yes, it should be 11880. Why it should be 11880? See, the thing is, ABCD is written as 24. That means if I just multiply the place value of this thing 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, we will find this. Got it? Now, what should be the IJKL? It should be 9 into 10 into 11 into 12. That means 90 into 132. And the answer should be 11880. Got it? Now, this is not time for you to start from scratch. If you are not having an idea of reasoning, this is, you cannot start. In the class you cannot start from the scratch. You have to do it on your own. You have to follow the R.S. Agarwal logical listening, verbal and non-verbal listening book. If you don't have any idea about reasoning, let me tell you that, because there will be no time. Remember, and the level of question will be quite higher in these days. Got it? Now let's have another question on this section. Now do this question. do the question here. What should be the yeah, should be a. Now do this question. Yeah. So as you know, this is the basics. I mean, now if you see the question from the personal assistant last year, I cannot copy paste the question here, so that like I just write it down the question here so that you can understand. This is very easy. Like pot is a top. I mean, earlier the thing is what they have like reverse it down TOP and they put an A. Trap is written as A part. That means arena is written should be what? ANERA, and another is okay. So this is a factor. This is very easy. But if you see the I mean, just a second. Yeah, if you see the PA paper last year, you'll be shocked to see the level of. I'm just getting an idea of the level of the question they have asked here. Got it? Level of the question they have asked here. That's my concern. Number one concern is here. Now we have a question here. That is, I cannot. Let me just. Okay. So this is the question. Mango 50 date 30. Uh, Orange. They have asked this. Okay. Mango is 50, date is 30, and orange is what? Now, what are we gonna do? We are gonna doing some important task here. That is, you are thinking that mango would be 50. That means we need to add the thing here. I mean, the level of question is much complex than CSAT. Although it's easy, as you know, because it should be 5, it should be 20, it should be 1, and it should be 4. Total is 30. So you can easily get this thing down. It should be what? It should be 1, it should be 14 with 7, it should be 5, it should be 15, right? That means 30 and 12, 42. The answer will be 42 here. Got it? Coding decoding is quite mediocre. Now, let us move forward to the actual part of logical reasoning, that is Silog based logical reasoning. Okay, that is Silog based logical reasoning. Now, let me give you a question. These are quite important to understand. There is a question. I'm copying it and putting it on the paper so that you can have the idea of the question itself. So I hope you might see the question here. This is the question that was coming from logical reasoning section in CSAT last year, 2024. Read the question and try to solve it. Now, this is a very grim reality. Like, as you know, what I'm telling, you need to cater to a quite greater understanding of logics out here. The main statement is followed by four statements. Suppose the main statement is Pradeep becomes either a director or a producer. Now, statement P, Pradeep is a director, Pradeep is a producer, Pradeep is not a director, and Pradeep is not a producer. That means what can happen here? Now, each of you, each of you have to select the option B. Now, which choose a ordered pair of the statement where the first statement implies the second and the two statements are logically consistent with the main statement. Now, R and Q we have decided Pradeep is a producer and Pradeep is not a director. That means what happened here? Now, there is a concept here that you might find. Okay, watch very closely what happened here. No, watch very closely what happened here. You have got it very wrong. Why? Let me tell you that. Pradeep is a director. Pradeep is not a producer. That means these two contradict the thing. Pradeep is not a producer. Pradeep is a director. This contradict the whole thing. Right? You need to imagine one very important aspect of the classes here. A very important aspect of the class. This uh, question here. A very important aspect. That's what that is. There are two contradictory sentences out here. There are literally two or three contradictory sentences out here that you need to contradict. Okay. Now, what happened? These two contradict each other, and also these two contradict each other. That means we have SP and RQ contradict each other. The option should be C, and you have written option B. Those you have written option B, considered it in the APFC paper. You lost how many marks? How many marks you lost? You lost 2.5 plus 0.83. That means you lost near about 3.33 marks here. Can you imagine? You lost 3.33 marks here. That would be the level of logical listening question in the paper itself. I hope you can imagine how much practice you need in this section. You might ask, sir, where should we practice? We have already given the CSAT paper. We have already given the previous EPFO multiple exam papers. And we are going to give very soon a huge question bank, as well as we are starting mock test. Those in our batches, in our paid batches, you will be getting the mock test as it's already in our course. And all although we are be selling the mock test for other students as a whole. 30 full length mock tests will be there, along with we'll be giving the UPSC CDS previous year papers for your practice. Got it? This is the level of question you'll be getting in the examination. Now, let us go to the next question. Now, let me conclude another question out here, because we are doing with logical reasoning today, and we must uh, we must contradict the things properly, right? Now, this is a question from 2023, as you know, it's from 2023 paper. It's from 2023 paper. Now, try to do it. I hope you can see the whole question here. So try to do it. See, logic is in our. I mean, you have to understand the logic itself, as you know. That's the most important part. That is, see, the question itself is like, consider the following statement. There are five candidates, P, Q, R, S, T. Two statements are true, one statement is false. True statement. One of the P and Q was selected for job. False statement. At least one of R and S was selected for a job. True statement. At most two of R, S, T were selected for a job. Okay. So now, what I can contradict from here? It's a very tricky question out here. Between P and Q, one is selected. Got it? Between P and Q, one is selected. At least R and S was selected. I mean, between R and S, none was selected, zero. At least one of R and S was selected. False statement. That means none was selected. At most, two RST was selected. RST, at most two was selected. Now, what gonna happen here? I mean, five candidate out here. Here we have five candidate. P, Q, R, S, T. P, Q, R, S, T. Five candidate out here. Now, one of PQ was selected, and RST, from RST, at most two was selected. Now, what gonna happen here? There is a contradict out here. You need to understand. You need to get things quite properly. Now, look carefully. P and Q, between P and Q, one is selected. As you know, there is one candidate between P and Q. Who is sure about that? Second statement, the false statement here, at least one RNAs was selected for the job. That is a false statement. What we can say? False means, except the proper statement, we can contradict anything. At least one was selected. So I'll omit it and I will say of them are selected. That's a different statement, and it should be true because it's false. It might be true. Two of them selected. That means R and S both are selected. And from here, at most two, it's a true statement. At most, that means these two can be selected. These two can be selected here. Got it? That means at least four were selected for the job. It's a very contradictory in nature. As you know, it should be very contradictory in nature. Now, what can happen here? Two of them were selected for the job, but we cannot see. I mean, you might think that this should be a proper answer. Whenever false is given, you cannot contradict anything from it. That means R and S were not selected. None selected from the interview, from the job. We need to take the negative part out of it. That means here, none selected. Now, there is a very contradictory in nature. One thing happened here. This is a true statement. If they choose to, I mean, this statement is getting wrong. Why wrong? Because true statement is there at most two. At most two. At least how much we don't know. That means we can say at most one can be selected from here. It's T. That means number of candidates selected we don't know, and AC is not selected we also don't know. That means it should be neither one. Not. Got it? I'm giving an overview of the whole thing, as you know.
স্যার স্যার
I'm giving an overview of the whole thing. Got it?
স্যার আমার কথা
Yeah,
কি
yeah,
শোনা
yeah.
যাচ্ছে? স্যার বলছি লাস্টের যে স্টেটমেন্টটা বলেছে ট্রু স্টেটমেন্ট বলে অ্যাটমোস্ট টু অফ আর এস অ্যান্ড টি অ্যান্ড অ্যাটমোস্ট মানে তো আমরা জানি যে
No,
দুজনকে
at
হতেই হবে।
most means two can be happen, either two, mostly two can be happen. There is a upper limit. Upper limit is two. There is no lower limit.
হ্যাঁ, তার মানে আপার লিমিট 2 মানে তো
No,
দুজনকে
it's
তো
not.
হতেই হবে।
It's not
দুজনের
two
কম তো
can be.
হবে না এখানে।
Maximum two can be there. Minimum we don't know. Got it?
তাহলে ম্যাক্সিমাম যদি 2 হয় তাহলে আমরা এখানে আর এন্ড এস টাকে ধরবো না ওরা জব পাচ্ছে বলে?
We cannot pick RNS.
বিকজ ওখানে তো একটা ফলস স্টেটমেন্ট বলেছিল যে অ্যাটলিস্ট ওয়ান অফ দ্য আর এন এস ওয়াজ সিলেক্টেড, যে আর এন এস এর
Yes,
মধ্যে যে কোনো
it's a false
একজন
statement.
অ্যাটলিস্ট
We
সিলেক্টেড
cannot say.
হবে। হ্যাঁ,
We cannot say how many.
তাহলে ফলস
Two of them might be selected or zero might be selected. We cannot draw anything. Alright. This is the level of question we'll be having. Now, let me put another so that you can
Okay, sir.
understand. I have put another. Try to do it. So as I'm seeing, everyone is okay. You are confused on two options. Either is B, D, and A. We have different options. Wow. Now we have three different options. That means it's a confusion question. When you have three different options from three different students, that means it's a very confusing question. Okay. So the thing is, five statement up there. If P is true, then both Q and R are true. That means P true, Q and A is both true. If R and A are true, R and A are true, that means T is false. Okay. Which of the following concluded? If T is true, then at least one of P and R must be false. If Q is true, then P is false. Now, uh, it's gonna go this way. You have to got it. That is, if P is true, Q and A are true. R and A are true, then T is false. Now, if P is true, then if T is true, then it should be false. R and A both are false. That means it should be false. It false. That means this should not be contradictory in nature. Got it? If Q is true, suppose Q is true, then P is true. Now, only P cannot ensure the truthness of P itself. Only Q cannot ensure the truthness of, that means 2. Number 2 would be not happen. If 3 is 2, then 1 P and R must be false. Yes. P and R, at least 1. That means here A and R false. It might be false. But at least 1 from P and R will be false. That means 1 only. 1 would be the answer. That means the answer should be 1. A only. Got it? Yes.
স্যার
Got it? Yes, yes.
স্যার বলছি যখন আপনি বলছেন যে ট্রি যখন ফলস হচ্ছে তখন আর আর এস একসাথে ট্রু হচ্ছে আর টি যখন আমার ট্রু হচ্ছে তাহলে আর আর এস তো আমার একসাথে
No,
ফলস
the
হবে
thing is,
আমি এখানে আর কে কি করে বলবো যে এক
very careful. And uh, one thing I suggest, try to converse in English because it's a all India basis batch. Okay, there are multiple students from different states also, if possible. Okay, the thing is, uh, if P is true, then this is true. It's a one-way communication. It's not a both-way communication. That means S must be true, Q must be true in order to P must be true. Okay, so Q is true. We cannot say only Q. Only Q cannot ensure the truthness of P because P might be true, P might be false because it's a one-way communication. Got it? Only Q cannot ensure the truthness of P. That means number 2 is not correct. But if true is true, it should be true, then this should be false, it might be false. And if it might be false, it might be false too. And if it might be false, it might be false too. I mean, forget about P. If T is false, T is true, R and A is, it should be opposite, it should be false too. That means R is false too. That means it's true. One, at least one. That means R is false. We can conclude it here. That means number 1 is true. Statement number 1 should be true here. See the magic here? This is the magic of logical reasoning. Now there are multiple silogs up there. Now that's another question I must put here. These are all based on logic. It's pure logic. If you cannot understand logic, you need a lot of practice. Remember that. Okay, now do this question. It's a question number 2021. This question is from CSAT 2021. Now, uh, now what we have here, it's a quite interesting question out here. So half of the village of a certain villages have their own house. That means total villages are out 100, have house, let's say 50 have their own house. Got it? Now, 1/5 of the villager cultivate paddy. That means paddy, how much? 20. 1/3 of the villagers are literate. Literate 33 and illiterate 66. 4/5 of the villagers are under 25. 4/5 means 80. Under 25 is 80 and above 25 is 20. That's my overall structure of the village. Got it? Now, all the villagers who have their own houses are literate. How many? Cannot be true because houses have 50 and literate only 33. So it cannot be contradicted. Some villagers under 25 years of age are illiterate. Under 25 is how many? 8. That means B should be true. Some are illiterate because 80 and total here is literacy 30. Only half of the villagers who cultivate paddy are literate. Half of the villagers cultivate, you cannot say because they might be under literate, they might be under illiterate. So it's a possibility. No villagers under 25 years of age has his own house. Under 25 cannot be studied. That means only option B. Got it? Yes, you got it right. So I hope you have an idea of the question here. How many questions they are putting? I hope you have an idea here. Got it? You understand? So this sort of question will be coming in the question paper. So try to get all the question properly. Practice all the questions that are given in the PIQ section of CSAT. I hope you might able to answer all the question in the EPFO paper. As we don't know about the, I mean, it's quite difficult to exactly contradict or exactly presume the level of question that will be coming in the EPFO paper this year. But I might say the question will be like this, and also like as it's more likely the question will be like the previous year personal assistant paper. Got it? Okay. So let me end the class here, and we have a class on Thursday as usual at 8 p.m. Good night.